Life begins with coffee. Ever wondered how the aroma of roasted coffee beans leaves our senses tingling and our day brighter? What are the secrets that lie behind that perfect cup of coffee? Tucked away in a little corner along the infamous Kabul Singh Drive lies a quaint coffee academy. Welcome to the Lighthouse. Established in 2007, Lighthouse is well known for its high-quality products and services. The company not only supplies distinct coffee beans to top-notch restaurants and hotels, but also provide imported espresso machines, specialized equipment, and professional tools. As you walk into the shop, you are welcomed by the sensational aroma of coffee. They also import flavored syrups from France to further enhance the rich, significant taste of coffee. Logan Blend is the signature blend served in Lighthouse Coffee Bar since the year of 2011. Logan Blend uses Arabica beans that are carefully selected and imported from 4 different countries such as Colombia, Brazil, Guatemala, and Ethiopia. To get the aromatic flavors that we have all come to enjoy from coffee beans, they must first be subjected to temperatures of approximately 200 degrees Celsius for a set period of time. The coffee roasting process consists of 3 essential steps, which are roasting, cooling, and packaging. Unroasted coffee beans smell green and of the earth and are soft in texture. Firstly, bags of green coffee beans are opened and poured into a hopper. Once the roaster's internal air temperature reaches 200 degrees Celsius, the beans will be conveyed from a hopper to a spinning hot drum to commence the roasting process. Inside the drum, there are many paddles that toss the coffee through airways. The beans will be roasted for a period of time ranging from a few minutes to 20 minutes. Within the process, roast masters are able to surveil the condition of coffee beans through the roasting chamber view window or by pulling out the gold knob. When the coffee beans are undergoing the first crack, they will experience several changes. They will double in size, shedding their skin, as well as lose mass. When the beans turn a light golden brown, it signifies the halfway mark of the roasting process. After the coffee beans are done roasting, they will then be released to the cooler plate. The coffee beans that have undergone intense heat must be stirred continuously to avoid them from sticking to the surface of the cooling plate. After the coffee beans are cooled off, roast masters will lift up the bladder, and from there, the packaging process takes place. Roasting causes chemical changes to take place as the beans are rapidly brought to very high temperatures and then quickly cooled to stop the process. Once the beans are roasted, the familiar aroma of coffee delights the senses, a heavenly scent for coffee enthusiasts. Roasted beans are normally kept for days to allow their aromas to emanate. Beans for espresso are usually kept for a week to maximize the pungent aroma. The modern cafes of today only demand coffee beans with singular cracks. Although Arabica and Robusta coffee beans may appear similar to untrained eye, there are a number of differences that significantly differentiate these 2 popular species of coffee beans. Arabica beans tend to contain low caffeine with better quality. They must be grown at higher altitudes under the condition of cool subtropical climates with plenty of moisture, an abundance of rich soil, and both shade and sun to produce state-of-the-art beans. Robustas, however, are easier to grow. They are less vulnerable to pests and weather conditions. They contain twice as much caffeine as Arabica beans, but are sold cheaper compared to Arabica due to the higher growth rates of their fruits. The 2 varieties also differ in physical appearance. Arabica coffee beans have a slightly larger elliptical shape than the smaller, more round Robusta beans. Although these differences may be small, it may explain why both beans roast differently under identical conditions.
So, when did you realize you have a strong passion for coffee?
Um, when I was in US, in the state, it's a working purpose so that we travel around from there, I tasted the coffee in US. Um, Even a small little independent kiosk is better than Malaysia. So from there, I start to figure out like why the coffee in a small little kiosk is even better than cafes in Malaysia. So from more and more, then you get into the whole industry. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why did you name this? Why did you name your company the Lighthouse?
When I was in, it's a missions and it's a guidance to share my passions to cafes and restaurants and barista in Malaysia. So I use that name to kind of like to shine up the whole industry, to guide industry to move on. That's why Lighthouse, we are not focusing on only only roastery, but also barista training. So barista training is very important for cafes. Once the coffee knowledge, barista skills is in certain level, so everyone can serve good coffees.
So there are two different ways of brewing, right? One is the espresso process, and the other one is the hand dripping process. So can you explain a bit further what's the difference between these two process, brewing process?
Every country you have your own culture. So hand drip and espresso is one of the methods of brewing. We call it one of the brewing method. Espresso base is from Italian coffee culture. So you do extraction on espresso. You prepare espresso with steamed milk, become a cappuccino and latte, or mocha, something like that. And for brewing, hand drip is purely coffee and hot water with the knowledge of barista by how many ratio of coffees and how many ratio of water to get the taste out from the coffees.
Right. So since we're talking about the dripping process, right? What type of beans? Are there differences if you're using Arabica or Robusta beans? Do you have a different taste if you're gonna do the dripping process? Like which beans, does it make a difference?
If Robusta, usually commercially I will say that Robusta will use it in espresso blend for those Italian preference or Italian blend. They may blend a little 30% or maybe 50% of Robusta beans into the coffee blend, but that will mainly use in espresso base. But for hand drip, I believe most of the hand drip coffee or the barista or cafes, they only use specialty Arabica coffee. So means the grading is really big difference. When you do hand drip, you're looking for something on aroma or flavors, how you can extract the flavors out from the beans. If you use Arabica, you may get a lot of different flavor. Maybe depend on, let's say you are using a geisha coffee, then you may get lychee, you may get pineapple from the coffee. But if you are using Robusta, no matter what you extract, you are still getting almost the same flavor, unless you are using specialty Robusta beans. Yeah.
Right. So what is the best temperature to brew coffee?
For hand drip, the range is quite big, but usually we can start like 90 something.
90 something.
Yeah, 90 maybe 96 to 90 Celsius. In that range, we will depend on the roasting profile. If the beans is more darker roast, then the temperature can be slightly lower.
In your opinion, since you're a coffee lover, which style of coffee do you like? Like latte, cappuccino, mocha, or just pure long black?
You are asking me to choose latte, long black, and cappuccino.
But which one would you prefer? Which is your favorite type of coffee?
In between these three,
Yeah,
I would say long black.
long black.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so alright, I understand that there are different types of taste, like you say there's lychee flavor and all this kind of thing. what brings the different taste in coffees? Like some are very, very bitter. Is it the ratio, or is it because of the temperature, or what?
The taste of coffee is quite wide. The taste of coffee is quite wide. So let's start from origin of coffees. If we are talking about origin of coffee, it depends on Latin America, Central America, or maybe Africans, or Asian, like Indonesia, example. So if you are talking about different country, because of the soil, fertilizations, weather, it creates even Arabica coffee. It creates different flavor from each country. So that is one of the flavors. And secondly is the process. Process means how is the farmer doing the processing method. It can be a natural process, or dry process, or honey process, or maybe wash process. So those processing will also affect it slightly on the flavors of the beans or flavors of the coffees. And another thing can bring up the bitterness or affected on the flavor is the roasting. If the roaster roasts no matter what beans, if every beans that you roast is dark roast, so you will taste almost the same flavor on every beans. Means you don't have any lychee or pineapple in the beans. So roasting affected is on the dark roast. So everything will become bitter.
Just now you talk about like honey process and all that. Can you explain further, like what's the differences? There are four, right? Just now you mentioned.
A few, yeah. Okay, for honey process is the latest process that we have in the market. So in honey process, they have red honey, yellow honey, and black honey. So honey process doesn't mean that you put honey on the coffee cherry.
Okay.
So it's like the farmer pick the coffee cherry and they remove the pulp. Once they remove the pulp from the cherry, the mucilage that stick on the beans, then they will sun dry the beans. So the sweetness or the caramelization process absorb into the beans. That is the process, they call it honey process. So the mucilage, sticky mucilage on the surface of the beans, percentage of the mucilage will differentiate the yellow or red or black. The more mucilage that they stick, they just remove the skin, a lot of mucilage stick together, that is black honey process. Because the more sweetness that you dry it out, the more caramelization stick on that beans. Fermentation process turns the mucilage become black or dark brown. Then the most less mucilage will only turns the color become yellow. So the percentage of mucilage change the names: yellow, red, and black.
Do you think that the normal coffee house like kopitiam and all this kind of thing, do you think that their coffee, what do you think about their coffee? What are your opinions?
The kopitiam? For me, kopitiam coffee is a culture. It's a culture for our country, and also it's how to say that, it's a root from our generation to remember and to understand the coffee making process that our great grandfathers or our grandfathers or our what they drink before. But it's a culture for me. But if you ask me like to compare in healthy way of drinking coffee, I will prefer something hand drip or espresso base. Yeah.
Our passion for coffee has brought us to Antong Sindram Berhad, Malaysia's oldest coffee mill located in Taiping, Perak. Established in 1933 by Mr. Tia E. Mui, the Antong Coffee Company boasts a rich and unique history. Located in a secluded area near a railway station lies a building with smoke billowing, accompanied by the unmistakable aroma of roasted coffee beans, which permeates the atmosphere and enthralls the senses. Standing tall next to the coffee mill is the office which was the former residence of Dr. Sun Yat-sen, the father of modern China. Before we begin, this olden-day coffee mill has not yet failed to charm us with the rustic authenticity of its traditional ways. As visitors enter the humble yet bustling Antong, they are guided to the storage area where freshly picked green beans are packed into sacks. Every process is a delicate and measured step to ensure that the best quality of roasted coffee beans is produced. A unique feature to the traditional roasting of coffee beans is the mixing of sugar to add a hint of sweetness to the beans. The coffee beans first undergo a roasting process in wood fire oven for about 15 minutes. Once roasted, the beans are transferred to the spinning drum filters, which remove the husks. Next, the beans are mixed with sugar in large mixers and boiled over a wood fire oven, which creates a thick, viscous black mass. The molasses-like mixture is then left to cool and broken into chunks. Finally, the crystallized chunks of the coffee mix are grounded into powder using a traditional grinder. The most frequently used species of coffee beans at Antong Coffee Mill is Arabica, Robusta, and Liberica. The combination of these beans at different amounts produced a unique blend of coffee flavor, which is significant to Antong. Visitors who journey to this coffee mill are given the opportunity to engage in coffee tasting in the quaint section behind their main office. Here, customers are able to enjoy the aromatic and mouth-watering delight of the original Antong coffee.
So 你太平伊人这边食的咖啡较济是 mix 的，无是标一项面的。两 coffee shop 较济是 mix together 的。
Mix together. Okay. So 有虾米清茶？I mean 我知是 aroma 啦，但係你知嚟加新嘅 coffee 嗬，伊人是單加一個 crack 呢。So 我是愛問啦，是講你單加 second crack 有蝦米清茶咧？伊是依家香還是依家成個炒大啲？
其實伊是較香是講袂準啊。其實伊講咖啡屋來講，伊是就是愛較臭大的味咯。咖啡屋來講，伊就是愛伊嘅 taste 較濟咯。
Okay. So 你知問你人 roasting 嘅時候，伊個 temperature 落關啊，大家知啊？
呢個就是 above 80 咯。
80
above 啦。
So even for honey bean 本是agak-agak 80。
tapi 因為伊 depend 伊人有 light roasting、dark roasting、medium roasting， 伊 temperature 會較無相，伊嘅時間本較無相咯。tapi mainly 我人是較濟是 above 80 啦。
above 80 Okay, so 我愛問啊，你人Antong嘅 coffee 最 famous 係蝦米咧？
咖啡屋咯，你免講啊，定就是咖啡屋了。beginning founded start 陣就是咖啡屋 start 了嘅。所以這個 product 因為我人有誠濟嘅 grade， 有嘅是 totally Arabica， 誠伊人食慣是迄款北九牌嘅，伊人迄個是 mix 的咯。不過 coffee shop supply for coffee shop 嘅，伊人本是有 mix 的 ，depend 的。
那這邊賣嘅咧？
這邊賣嘅講包裝迄頭，你人看到迄邊是 pure 的 Arabica 呢。
pure Arabica
呢，無 mix 的。
Okay, so 愛問蝦米事你人這邊嗬，或你人如果是你人也因為邊參加糖咧，coffee參加 sugar。
這是誠好一個問題啦，因為我人馬來西亞人呢，咖喱本是 会晓讲去 coffee 店啊坐问伊讲coffee 头家coffee，但比你 coffee 地方的人就知影你是爱 coffee 哦，伊人不要夹白 coffee 互你，所以伊 different 的意思会讲会讲你 mix 甲 sugar 做伙呢，迄 coffee 是叫 coffee 哦，会讲无 mix 甲 sugar 迄是 coffee。其实爱分俩清楚的，就是啥 American 人 style 人啉 espresso 个 latte 迄个是 coffee， 所以你 mix 甲 sugar 就变 coffee 了。所以因为马来西亚人早我人的阿公阿伯的人、阿嬷的人早人啉落来 coffee 就是即款的 pattern 的了，所以就是 mix 甲 sugar 就会把接落来我人就是安尼款啉。
So 若是讲compare 一个 Americano the long black which is 我人的 coffee 那样无甜的嘛，有会 feel 到。
就是讲 almost the same 的物件。
对，一个是无糖的哦，那如果coffee 不是无糖的，让做出来是有糖的嘛吼。那后面是 feel 到 coffee 加烤咧，
因为coffee 伊掺迄个 sugar 的sugar 是叫古拉巴加，伊是炒甲会炒火大了，把伊个掺就是爱烤的迄个滴出来的。所以伊定对伊 compare 甲物定对较烤的。whatever 迄面的 taste 伊有伊原底aroma 了嘛，有人炒出来 maybe 炒甲烧焦，把伊佫掺起迄个糖个 spice。所以我人 coffee even 讲你啉 coffee without sugar 够爽的，是烤的。
So for 你是你 prefer 我人的 coffee 还是你人 prefer modern coffee？
我 prefer 会讲即个是阮袂讲甲伊讲我家己啉来讲呢，较济本是遐modern的 coffee 啦。因为我个人会讲 coffee 本无讲无啉，较有啉的少。Actually 我是较少啉 coffee 的人来，是有啉，但比讲较少啦。因为 coffee 一落来上细汉是无安尼想法。
那 coffee 冰的
掺冰迄款迄款有啉。会讲你敢是 coffee 我是无安尼啉咯。
若是讲你用Arabica，right？ 有虾米清茶 compared to Robusta compared to Liberica？ 有虾米清茶？虾米数你人用 Arabica？
会讲第一是 aroma 无相定对啦。因为即使讲小像一个 Arabica 有诚济 species 嘛 sub species， 所以伊本是 different 的。像 Arabica 有啥 Golden Mandling 就是我人家用较济的，我讲 Indonesia 头先，有一个啥 Brazil Santos， 伊本是 Arabica， 但比伊即款的呢，伊会诚顺。所以来讲来做 coffee 无是安尼 suitable 的 ，maybe 啥伊人去做像 cappuccino 那款的物件 ，Starbucks 伊就较适合。较 suitable 的，所以伊爱讲有啥物差别是去相差会诚济所以爱看你是针对爱做啥物的 coffee 来讲，你来拣啥物的伊的 coffee beans 是较对的说法啦，一个讲法啦。
So the standard method is 2 cracks until 伊真正
standard 是安尼款咯。
So actually the process in the beginning 是安怎like 你人会使 step by step 教讲啥
Okay, first 就是coffee bean， 人拣 coffee bean 咯，拣出来了，then 人入去 roasting。roasting 了人就放喺伊个cylinder 诶，迄是 remove skin 咯，迄伊个皮，迄个过了第三个 step 就是掺迄个炒糖的 process。迄个糖炒到伊差不多爱烧爱白加了，伊个迄个 coffee bean mix together。把之后人夹起来，下就一个 stainless steel 的 table for cooling 咯，较紧 cooling 咯。OK cooling 之后，人就夹去迄个 machine 拍出咯，拍消之后就 grind 就是做 packing 所以伊 step 是安尼款听起来是真简单，但比食时间。
阮看也是食时间。
对。
This is the common ground between traditional and modern coffee. Each blend, though infused with different flavors, still retain their unique character from the signature blend. After this amazing journey between the traditional and modern world, are you ready to experience the life that begins after coffee?